What's up, guys? This is Lordsevein, and this would be a one-shot of Dark Souls if I could frickin' play it. Alright, negative, angry rant incoming, so if you don't like this kind of thing, you might want to change up to another video or whatever, but I've got a bone to pick with From Software. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What is this on the screen? What is happening right here? I mean, this is obviously Dark Souls. Okay, that's cool. And it's on PC. Oh, awesome! What the hell? Okay, all right. Let me back this up. Let me explain what's going on here. Okay, I like Dark Souls. I was extremely frustrated that it was only available for Xbox. I don't play much console just because I've got a pretty beast computer because I do the YouTube thing, the video editing thing, and all that kind of stuff. And so I do a lot of stuff with my computer. My computer is a really expensive piece of equipment. I want to use that when I play games. I don't necessarily want to have to buy an Xbox to play whatever games or a Wii to play whatever games, you know. And so what Xbox does to try and get me to buy one of their consoles is have exclusivity with awesome games. Things like Dark Souls. Fantastic freaking game. Love that game. My roommate actually got it. I was lucky because I didn't have to pick it up myself, but my roommate has an Xbox and he picked it up and we played the crap out of that game. And I was so excited whenever I heard about the internet initiative to sign a petition, get From Software to get it on PC. I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm right up in that. And I made the commitment right then and there. I was like, no matter what, I'm going to buy this game. I'm going to buy it if they put it out. And I kept my word. I was so excited. I mean, I had it on my calendar. I was like, okay, it's going to be 5 days until my life ends because all I'm going to be doing is playing Dark Souls. Okay, it's 4 days and 14 hours until I stop living life and only Dark Souls. So, I mean, I was super excited. Finally got to it yesterday, downloaded it, got playing at 7 o'clock, and within 5 minutes I already hated it. I mean, what you're seeing right now was supposed to be the first episode of a Let's Play of this game, and I couldn't even get through that. Alright, here are my issues. For those of you who were excited about it and don't have it yet or are wondering if you should pick it up, I give it a really big probably not. I haven't been this disappointed with a game release ever. And that's saying something, because I was pretty disappointed with Skyrim because of the way it ran on my system. Even though I have a pretty awesome system, it wasn't running well. It's fixed now, and it's fantastic, and I love it. It's one of the best games ever. But when it's released, pretty disappointed. Wasn't too happy with that. The Old Republic, the MMO that was hyped for so long, so excited for that game. It was okay. This is crap. This is absolute shit. I'm sorry, From Software. I'm sorry, Bandai Namco. What is this? Okay, so here are my issues with this. It's Dark Souls, and that's great. And it's got extra content. That's great. The controls are terrible. Issue number one. I mean, and I'm not saying, like, the controls are not optimal. The controls are a little wonky. The controls are a little finicky sometimes. They're awful. They're just god-awful. Alright, if you look at the menu system for these controls, what the hell? I mean, okay, so to open a menu, guess what key that is? It took me till 17 minutes to quit trying to record this particular episode because it got to the 17-minute mark, I couldn't open my menu to equip an item. Guess what button it was? End. Think back in all your years of PC gaming. When has end ever been a button that you pressed for gaming? Like, you normally press escape, right? I've even seen tab. Sometimes I've even seen G or space. E sometimes happens. Never end. What the hell? How was I supposed to know that? You know, and then when you get into a menu, you would think, oh, you just use your W, A, S, and D keys to move around within the menu. Nope, you've got to use the arrow keys. You have to take your hand off the mouse, put them on the arrow keys, and move around. What? Okay, there's a lot of times in this game that you're going to have to really quickly be able to equip, unequip, move around some items, whatever, and you can't do it if you're taking your hand off the mouse. Alright? That's a big issue. Who the hell mapped these things? Yeah, you can do some remapping, but you can't have duplicates, so if you use W, A, S, and D to move, like you should if you're using a mouse and keyboard, then how the hell are you going to move through the menu system? Because you can't have a duplicate key for moving left and moving the menu selection left. Yeah, you can't use W or A or S and D for the same thing. That's stupid. Now let's talk about the mouse. Are you seeing this on the screen right now? Do you see the fact that it's squirrely and jumping around? I have my sensitivity set all the way to 0, completely taken all the way down. I'm like twitching a finger and it's spinning around my character 5 times. What the hell? Did anyone even begin to try and play this game before they ported it with a mouse and keyboard? Like, that's a big issue. If I barely touch my mouse and I can't even keep a focus target, let alone keep it from swinging around like 5 or 6 times, that's a big issue. What the hell? And I know, okay, that some of you people are going to be like, oh, well, why are you trying to play with a mouse and keyboard? Why aren't you playing it with controller? They even said that it was going to be optimal for that. It's designed around that. Yeah, that's fine. I've borrowed an Xbox controller from my roommate. I can play the game. I've played other games with controller. That's fine. And I know that there are going to be certain games that are optimal for controllers. That's just the way it's going to go. Like, a good example is Sonic Generations. That's a game that was optimal for a controller. You played that with a controller, it felt better. I played through it once on a keyboard and mouse, and it worked, but it was a little wonky. And then I went and played through it again with a controller, so much smoother. But the thing is, the keyboard and mouse worked. You could do that. That was a thing. With this game, what this mess they ported over, yes, you can't use a keyboard and mouse and play this game. I would love to see someone try and put up a Let's Play of them using a keyboard and mouse to play this game, because it's impossible. It's just that awful. Not to mention the fact that, you know, the tutorials on the different controls or whatever are all still Xbox pictures and Xbox buttons. So you read a message and it says, hey, press A button with a little, you know, blue A button or whatever to pick up an item. And I'm like, that's not a button I have with the current control system selected. Is it really that hard? I know this happens in a lot of games, so this isn't strictly a Dark Souls, you know, issue. This is a wide-ranging issue. But, you know, I don't have I have an A button, but it's not blue, and it probably doesn't do what you're saying. I don't have a right trigger on my keyboard or my mouse. I don't have control stick left to be able to turn my camera. I have my mouse. I have. You know, is that hard to be able to make a graphic for the new quote-unquote tutorial things? I don't know. That's a small bone to pick. Another issue, I mean, the biggest issue is the controls, the camera movement, all that kind of stuff with the mouse and keyboard. Everyone's going to say, hey, you just use a controller, it's not as bad. The other issue I have, what the hell is with the graphics? I mean, Dark Souls is a very atmospheric, fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. I think the graphics are fine. But when someone, now here's the story. Let me back up just a little bit more. Here's the story. So, From Software and Namco Bandai said basically that the aspect ratio and the resolution was going to be locked at the same resolution that an Xbox displays at. So if you had it, say, at a higher resolution like 1080p, it would just kind of stretch that image. It wouldn't actually have the correct aspect ratio. It wouldn't be able to display the graphics at a true 1080p. And they just weren't going to fix that. That was too much work for them. A guy, it's just a random guy from the internet who, granted, does have a PhD in, like, display physics or something absolutely crazy like that, took 34 minutes and created a fix for it. So when you install this fix or you mod in this fix, it's looks great. It looks like 1080p game should. You know, it's got everything it needs to have. It took this guy 34 minutes, and plus like a little bit of time just to test it and make sure that he uploaded it. It was ready to go on release. So let me get this straight. From Software, it was too much effort to be able to put in a basic, just very basic graphics fix that some dude who isn't even related to the company can do in 34 minutes and post online within hours of the game's release. What? I mean, nothing else says we don't give a shit about this about this version of this game than that. 34 minutes. Really? You couldn't spend 34 minutes? Good grief. And then finally, I mean, they're just the cherry on the top, and I knew it was going to be there, but because they announced it, and God, but Games for Windows Live. I hate Games for Windows Live. Everyone does. Who likes Games for Windows Live? Who likes that platform? Nobody likes that. Why do people use it? And so they have that, and it's got that famous, sometimes it'll eat your save data, or sometimes you'll connect, but it'll be in quote-unquote offline mode. I got hit with that latter thing. I logged in. It activated just fine. Thank God. I didn't have to juggle through anything or do anything crazy. I started it and said, you are in offline mode. And I said, okay, well, that's a thing. It just, whatever, I'm going to play this game. I'm super excited. Woo! And then so I started playing. And then I quit because of the control issue. I thought I might be able to fix it. And it came back in. My save data was gone. Why? Because it was in offline mode. But it still lets you play in offline mode. It's just you're not going to have save files. So Games for Windows Live is terrible. It's just terrible. And so overall, so far we've got not just bad controls, but the worst controls I've ever seen for a PC game ever. You've got people who aren't willing to put in 34 minutes worth of time and effort to fix a graphics issue. And then top it all off, you have Games for Windows Live. I mean, what the hell? My biggest thing is the controls, I think. That's probably the biggest issue I have with this. I don't expect every PC game to play flawlessly if it was originally designed to be played on a console. An excellent example of this is Skyrim. Skyrim's UI, especially the menus, was designed for a controller. In fact, one of the mods that is the most downloaded, the most installed to this day is Sky UI. That allows PC gamers, people who have real gaming machines, can actually read everything on the screen, get some information, be able to sort through things, everything that a PC UI should have. So, because I know it's going to be difficult for those people with the controllers, just because you don't have as many inputs, you don't have as big of a screen, you're not, you have so many more restrictions. Us PC gamers don't have those restrictions, and so that was an example of a game that they had a controller-based UI, but it wasn't awful. Like, you can still play Skyrim. It works. It's still a controller-based game in a lot of respects. Everything from the quick launch UI to your inventory. Yeah, it's based for a controller, but you can play it with a mouse and keyboard just fine, if not better. This Dark Souls, man? It's not playable. It's terrible. So that's my review on this. Unfortunately, hopefully it gets fixed. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's a bit of a rant. A little frustrated right now because I've been looking forward to this for months. Finally get it, spent $40 on it, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen. So, I don't know. If you guys agree with me, let me know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys playing this? Are you guys playing with the controller and just getting better results than me? Which, I think I'm just going to have to break down and play it with a controller, which I might as well just go play it on the Xbox. I mean, Jesus. But anyway, that's rant off. I'm done. Hopefully this wasn't something that's too controversial or anything, but, God. What a terrible port.